Hello, everybody. I'm here with Lerina, and she's here to tell us about her journey. She's on our first cohort for the University of Essex. So, Lerina, please tell us a little bit about your background and how you arrived here.
Thank you, Devi, and thank you for the opportunity to share this with everyone. I've been a vocal coach since 2000, basically. I had my first student, and I actually studied teaching. I didn't study music because the only options I had at that stage was to study music classically, and that was not necessarily my main focus. So in the end, I went through rock school, the exams, and I did my licentiate through rock school and all of that. And that was an amazing journey. And yes, and I want to know more because I could never had the opportunity to study undergraduate vocal specific course. That is why this MA was absolutely exactly what I wanted to do, and it turned out it's more than I was hoping for. I love
Oh,
every moment of it, and I love, yes.
oh, wonderful. You made my day this morning. So just in terms of what you've studied, because so just to give context, your first project, obviously you're new in on the journey, you've got a lot more to come, but your first project involved you exploring quite a lot of literature, going deep into the academics, and then bringing it into your practice. So just tell us about that journey.
Yes. So my module one, I decided I'm going to focus on vocal warm-ups and vocal health, and what is the influence on vocal warm-ups on vocal health, and going into those two basically and seeing how on the long term. And my age group that I focus on is adult singers or non-professional singers, if I can put it that way, and also younger, but not the youngest, more high school going on to adults. And it was amazing. I could recap all my knowledge on SOVT exercises and all of that in the research and other options that there is. I enjoyed some articles about a different way of thinking, and not only team teaching was the one article that I read that I really found interesting, and that is structuring the lesson also so that the student can take ownership of what they're doing, and also maybe create some warm-up exercises, so their own warm-up exercises. Because the one thing that I learned is there's no right and wrong when it comes to warm-up exercises. It's whatever the student need at that stage. And some of them might need more, some of them might need less. So it's an absolutely thing of being in the moment. What do we need now? And then the other thing that I realized in my module one research was that I do not necessarily spend enough time with my student when it's come to vocal health. I will mention it. I will, if I hear them clearing their throat quite often, then I will say, it's not necessarily the most healthiest thing, but I don't have a thing that I actually make a point of pointing that out. This is what your vocal health is, and this is important, and that is why. So I'm definitely going to add that to my practice, and I'm also adding to my practice where the students do a more taking ownership of what they're doing. Yesterday, it was so cute with a little primary school kid. So what is she, 12 years old? And I told her, okay, so today you are in charge of the warm up. And at first she was so scared of doing anything, and this is so weird, and giggling. And then she actually came to a point where she overcome that, and she started taking control. And she said, well, I want to do this. And it was just beautiful to watch her take the ownership. And then I just realized again how important it is for the students to be able to take ownership of their singing, ownership of their practice. And then they will also obviously be able to practice more at home. And that is where I'm going into with this module, is that practice at home. So that is the one thing that I'm focusing on, that I decided to focus on for this module, is I want to give them an artifact or a tool where they can easily practice at home with me, just giving them prompts, but them taking ownership. And yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah,
talk a lot about that, but that's sort of,
exciting.
still in the planning phase.
So you kind of shifted away from warm up. So when you did your warm up research, did you develop a new compendium of warm ups? Did it change your view? Because I know there's a lot of contentious material around warm ups, really, and whether or not they're beneficial and whether or not they work. So what was your outcome there?
Um, yes, definitely. But I would say that the warm-ups, I have quite a big tool set of different types of warm-ups that
Yeah.
I already use. So the research sort of confirmed what I already had. I won't necessarily say there's new exercises or anything that I discovered in the research. The thing, like I said, that was just confirmed with me is the two most important things is the students taking ownership of that. So not me always telling them, okay, this is what we're doing and this is how we're doing it, but also reflecting and saying, how did that feel? Because that sounded amazing. What happened there? And then take it from there. And then the other thing is tailoring the warm-ups to the students' needs. Because
Yeah.
I'm a very much routine type of person. So I can very easily just go into the routine and do whatever I always do. So I'm trying to be more present
So
and
more student-centered almost, really.
yes, definitely.
And so this artifact that you're designing now, obviously you've only got started on practice. So what are you knee deep in practice looking at research on student practice at the moment?
Well, no, well, I haven't started with the research at this stage. I'm still planning
Right.
and defining my question. And I've took a few articles, but well, this module I want to make it more um, I want to work more clever. Sorry, English is not my first language. That's not the right way to say it, but I want to do it better than the previous time because I think I've wasted a lot of times in a lot of time in module one because I got a lot of articles and I read through all of them all the way through. So I'm structuring. I first want to have my planning and saying this is where I'm going. Okay, so I need evidence for that one, and then go and search for evidence for that one, and see what comes up. That's sort of where I'm at this stage.
Yeah, you're at the early stage of it, where the most exciting stage. I always think this is the most exciting stage because you always think it's going to be easier than it actually will be, and you always think the research will be a lot more straightforward than it is.
No, yeah, no, it's definitely not. And then, oh, what I've noticed so far, and then I research this one thing, and then this other thing comes up, and oh wait, but I need to work this in, and then I find nothing on the one thing that I really was sure I'm gonna find something, and yeah, it's an interesting stage. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've learned to focus more on the abstract before I spend time on reading the whole
Yeah.
article. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have to be quite selective, don't you, in the way that you read. So, but it sounds like you're going great, doing great things. Thank you so much for
Yes.
joining me this morning. And it's been great to hear about your work.
Thank you. It's only a pleasure. And thank you for the Voice Study Center. I can
Oh,
honestly say I've never felt so supported and everything in anything I've ever done. So it's really amazing. Thank you.
oh, thank you. That's made my day.